It's Tuesday once again, folks, and we are ready for another episode of Conversation. This is episode 54, and man, I'm not going to be able to say the little Tuesday thing much longer here. This is one of our last days here on Taco Tuesday. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Some news with the streaming services and what's going on with a couple of the big names there, namely Kirkman and Mark Millar. Some movie news around not only the MCU but the Foxverse as well, and some other books that are getting adapted, and gonna touch on Valiant as well. So quite a few things there, and of course new books that will be coming out tomorrow or in a couple hours, really. So we're gonna touch on that in a second. But first, let's go. You know what? We'll do catch up in a second. First thing I want to do is give some recognition to somebody that lost their life on the set of Deadpool. Her name, unfortunately, she passed away. Her name is Joy Harris. She was an AMA motorcyclist, professional, motorcycle racer. This was her first where she was a stunt double. And apparently there was, long days on set. They did the same scene over and over again with this particular Ducati. And if you saw a couple of the pictures, you saw the motorcycle tipped over. Same one or same model that you also saw Zazie Beetz on. So Joy was actually Zazie Beetz' stunt double for the movie. Tragically she passed away from, falling off the bike. And, heart goes out to her family, heart goes out to the cast, the people that were around them, the folks on set who had to witness it. Definitely not easy for them. So I figured we could do just a quick moment of silence for them. All right, so there we go. So definitely sad, and hopefully, when you see the actual movie, hopefully that will give those meaning, knowing what had happened, in the making of it. So a couple of shout outs, then we'll get into doing some catch up here. We got Blackpool with us as well. Nice having you here. Hopefully your show's doing well. I know I didn't see it today, so hopefully everything is copacetic on that front for you. Deadpoolica is always here with us as well. We also have Jason Smith, Angel B, Comically Flawed, Man with a Blue Wrench. AG Surfer, I will answer that in a second. Short answer there is yes. J-Rod Ham as well is with us. Jeff Johnson is here. Big E's Comics as well, coming at you from the chat. That's right, cars going by. Living on a main street here. So AG said, I worked at a motorcycle shop. Yes, in fact, that was one of my first jobs. I sold Triumphs and Honda motorcycles. We did street motorcycles, as well as a bunch of off-road. In fact, next to the shop, we had an autocross track set up for the dirt bikes, but we would always, people would trade in junker cars, or people would have them guys in the shop. So we would take the cars on the autocross track. It was freaking hilarious. So nice. A lot of fun there. Yeah. Really cool bikes. First experience with 1,000 cc's was at that shop. So that's for another story. Yeah, that's a lot of bike. Yeah. So cool. So that was that question there. So let's get into. That was from AG. That's why I said that.
Okay.
Let's get into some catch up there. What have you been doing since last week? Collecting World.
Way too much. Last week was a crazy. I bought way too many comics week. So
nice.
Yeah, a lot of comics. And I went to a small con not too far away from me, so that was nice. It was another one of those $5 cons.
I remember you mentioned that.
Yeah, it was good. It was, your normal $5 con. And like I always say, I enjoy going those just to see what things are selling for, what things are priced at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because there was not a raw New Mutants 98 there for under $350.
Wow.
Yeah. $350. Great. Like if it was graded, it was over 500, but the lowest loose copy I saw was $350.
We're back to the movie hype, you know.
Oh my gosh, it was nuts, man. Or maybe it was just like this con, you know, you never know. You never know. But it was good size. I picked up, like I said, I picked up a good amount of books there. Unfortunately, or fortunately at the same time, my shop got in a collection last week. And then I went through those books and had to pull out 3 or 4 that I had to buy. So it was nuts. It was nuts. Also had like books sent to me and stuff like that. So it was just crazy. I opened a whole bunch of books on my Sunday morning show.
That's right. I was there with you while you were in the chat while you were doing it.
Yep.
A lot of books there from a couple folks.
Yeah.
You know?
So that was pretty much it. So it was a heavy comic book week for me.
Nice. It's good that it was light for the poll, right?
Right.
For the new comic. Kind of worked out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I mean, I regular old week for me in terms of my collecting. So nothing really. Haven't ordered anything off eBay recently, but I did a haul today, actually, earlier today.
Yep.
So you got to see my.
You went live with it. You did a live haul.
That's right. Sure did.
Crazy.
Seeking Internet Comics was there and Doom, you know, hanging out with me while I was showing the book. So that was cool.
Nice.
It was fun. But if you want to check out what I got recently, that's the place to do that. After this, of course. So we got Jeff said is talking about the book. They're talking about Jason Smith has a New Mutants. I think he has it for sale. New Mutants 100. Yeah. So okay. So they're talking about books as well. So that's cool.
Oh yeah, everybody's saying that. So that's overpriced. But I agree that on that New Mutants is definitely overpriced. But that's
not the time to buy that book.
No, if you don't have it, you wait.
No, that's right. Wait till half a year after Deadpool 2 is in theaters.
Yeah.
You know, and even after it comes out on Blu-ray, wait, because it's going to go down, guaranteed. It's probably still going to go up more as the movie gets closer. Not a whole lot more, but I could see it hitting 4s. So don't buy it. Don't.
Makes me want to like sell mine soonish.
I mean, that would be,
you know, buy it again later.
Something to look at, yeah. You know, if you're not, you know, super attached to your copy, you know, sell high, buy low, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big. I bought it because it was a deal. You know, yeah. I didn't buy it because I'm like a Deadpool fan. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you come across books like, you know, everyone has their things they're going after, but it's hard not to come across something in the meantime that, you know, takes some money from your wallet that you weren't expecting. Happens to me all the time. So I get it. But I don't know if did you see Game of Thrones on Sunday?
I did.
That was a crazy episode.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. A lot happened there. If you didn't see it, you are a fan of the show. I don't know why you haven't seen it yet, but we got a really big reveal.
Twice. They hit us twice with the reveal.
That's right. Well, one reveal was with Jon Snow, right?
Yeah, both were related to him. One just had him in it.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah. So one of them, we get to see he is more attached to the dragons than maybe he thought, right? And then the other one, we get to see that maybe he's not a bastard anymore.
Right. I mean, we get clue number 1, then we get clue number 2, and I'm just
right, exactly.
I think
you have to. Wife didn't even realize it was in the book, right? They just threw it on the floor. They didn't realize the significance of what she had just read.
He wasn't paying attention, yeah.
Yeah.
But we heard it.
Exactly. Right, exactly. But I do want to clear up one thing. There's a bunch of people saying that Jon and Daenerys are brother and sister, right? And that would be incest, which obviously it is. That's something that's tied to the Targaryen house.
No.
That's his aunt.
It's his aunt.
Yes, exactly. So you had Mad King, King Aerys, and he had three kids. He had Daenerys, Viserys, and Rhaegar. So that
Right.
Rhaegar is the one who went off with Lyanna Stark, who we thought it was outside of the marriage, hence the bastardization. We find out here it was annulled, that marriage, and it was actually looks like it's going to be something that was legitimate, but it was Rhaegar and Lyanna who had Jon as a baby.
Right.
And that makes Jon and Daenerys his aunt, and he's the nephew.
Cousin, aunt, sort of weird situation. But the
Exactly.
royalty, so it's completely okay.
It works. Well, it works for Cersei and Jaime.
They're further apart than that.
Yeah.
At least by like a step or two. So
yeah.
In the royal world,
if you know the history of the Targaryens, that's something that they've done, is kept their bloodline in house, and that's how they've been able to keep their connection to dragons, through the generations. So when I got this cup a while back, my mother gave it to me a long time ago. She must think I'm a narcissist, but she put one of my pictures on it. And at first, this is from a long time ago. Like, I'm never going to use that cup. What the hell? But now I think it's hilarious. So I use it every time I look at it. It gives me a laugh. So I watched Game of Thrones on Sunday. I'm trying to think what else. More incest. But yep, she's pregnant now.
So or is she?
Maybe she's saying that to manipulate him.
Right. She senses that she's losing Jaime, so she's like, "Nope, I can rope him back in with this story."
Right, exactly. It could be.
My prediction would be she's going to die before she has the baby anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. She's lasted a while, so we'll see. Okay, so there's that. Just wanted to talk about that for a second. Awesome show. If I had the time, quite frankly, I would probably do like a Game of Thrones, like, whole episode or a whole live show or whatever, just for that. But maybe we'll do that next season, because we're almost done with this one already.
Yeah.
It came out in 2012. I don't know if you saw it back then. It was by Adi Shankar. He did a bunch of what's called the bootleg universe for Marvel. Did you ever hear about those or see them?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't think
so. They were basically, he didn't get the licensing. They weren't sanctioned by Marvel, but he did a bunch of these. Like, it was a short. You can actually find them on YouTube. He did one with the Punisher. It was called Dirty Laundry, and it had Thomas Jane in it.
Yeah.
So it was
I saw that.
Yeah, so it was a continuation of what he had done. Thomas Jane, that is, for the movie. Crazy. It was freaking awesome. He did one for Power Rangers. He did one for Venom, actually. So he's got a few of them, and apparently he's got one in the works, possibly starring what's her name? She played she played in Deadpool, actually. She was the villain, Gina.
Oh yeah, Gina Tarazzi.
Yeah. So she's going to be potentially female Punisher in the next one he's going to do.
Huh?
That sounds pretty cool. Anyways, I saw those. Yeah, female Punisher was from, I think it was the 2011 Punisher one.
Yeah, I don't know.
With the female Punisher, and that's where they would pull that from. So yeah, Gina Carano. Thank you. She that would be pretty cool if you ask me. But if you haven't seen those, check them out. They call it the bootleg universe. So it's basically unlicensed. He's the guy who did the Castlevania series through Netflix. So even though he did all these things unsanctioned, he's getting some things going on for himself. Pretty cool there. The other thing I wanted to mention was Redlands. Did you read Redlands? That's one of the books that I read this week.
I did not.
Did you like it? Okay. You didn't like it, or you didn't read it?
I did not. I didn't pick it up.
Neither. Oh, okay. I thought it was cool. I liked it. Horror movie set, or movie, listen to me. A horror book set in Florida here in the 70s. And if you like witches and that type of stuff, it reminded me sort of what was that, Precinct 13, I think, where they're like trapped in the
Police precinct.
police. Yeah, there's people come. So imagine that with the cops, but only instead of other like cops coming to get them, it's a bunch of witches. That was kind of what I thought with it. It was pretty cool. There was actually a signing at one of my local shops with Vanessa Del Rey, who did the art on it. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to that, but that would have been cool.
Or witches bulletproof?
These, I don't remember if they shot at them. I don't remember if they
hit them.
Yeah, exactly. But they definitely fired off quite a few rounds in the episode. In the issue. Oh god, I keep saying that. Okay.
It's all
yeah. And then the other thing as well, we'll touch on it later, but tonight is the midnight release for DC's Metal. So are you going to see anything or go to your shop, or are they even doing anything?
I just looked on their Facebook page and they haven't said anything about it, so I guess they're not doing anything.
No.
I'll check their Twitter account. If they were going to be open, I would go over there. I wonder if Second and Charles is going to be open. Let's look quickly.
Yeah, check it out. I'm going to go to one of my shops. I want that book, the midnight release book. So I'll be doing that after the show and hopefully get some footage that I can upload. But
whoa, wait. Is there a different version? Do you get a different book if you go tonight versus tomorrow?
Yeah, there's a different cover. There's a ton of covers, of course, all the exclusives. There's some variants for the, solicited through DC with different artists. But there is a midnight release cover with like a Batman with like a pentagram in the background, looks like. And then you get your regular cover tomorrow. So who else is going? Jeff said Marky's going tonight. Yep. J-Rod said Capullo Midnight variant. Exactly. That's the one that will be tonight. Some shops will just put whatever they didn't sell on the shelf. Some will just be like, nope, that was the midnight release only. So you may get lucky and your shop got a couple in and they'll have them on the shelf tomorrow. Comically Flawed says he wants the cover, but his shop is not doing it. He doesn't think. So looks like a pretty good mix of doing it and not doing it,
That's sad. I want my shop to do it.
Yeah, not all of them participate in those types of things, but like you said, if they were, they would have been advertising the heck out of it, pushing it to social media, so you would have seen it.
Yeah. Well, now I have to find out what shop in the area is going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a luxury, living in like a urban area or a suburban area. You probably have more than one shop you can patronize. Chris may be with us in a little bit. Edwin's doing his Tuesday night LCS
pull list. Fun. Oh, there's Chris.
There he is. Right on cue.
Yeah.
Right on cue. What's up, man?
Not much. Not much.
How you doing?
I just some things going with the baby, so just kind of trying to figure out what's going on with her and everything like that. But hopefully it's all right. She's just being really fussy, so we'll see what happens. But I'm on my phone for now, just because I'm not quite sure if I'll have to jet out early or if I'll maybe stay on. If I am, then I'll switch over to my computer in a little bit. But till then, I'm here. I can talk about things on a much happier note,
cool.
I guess. Outside of that, until we get to for now, unless we're not doing that, we doing catch up, or we kind of.
Yeah, we're still in the catch up part. I was just going on about, because I didn't have like a huge comic week, so I was just talking about some other stuff throughout, like Game of Thrones, Redlands. We just got into talking about midnight release for Metal.
Yeah, Game of Thrones was good. It was, for me at least, it was kind of a setup for the next, I think, 2 episodes. That's just my thoughts on it. I think that they're going to set up next week a little bit too. I think that, you'll see some action, but not the main event. But that's just my thoughts. For me, this week was actually pretty good for comics. Boston Comic Con is in the books. I went
Nice.
this weekend. It was good. It was good. Different spot, bigger venue, different company running it, but it was let's see, it was cool. There's definitely room for improvement. There's definitely room to expand. But overall, I got to meet a lot of really cool people. Got to meet Bob Wycheck. Got to meet Joe Rubenstein. Adam Hughes. I never met Adam Hughes before. He was super cool. Got to meet John Romita Jr., Ryan Otley. Tons and tons of really cool people. And I picked up a bunch of books, like how I'm always saying, oh, get a back issue. Get plenty of back issues. Because a lot of the artists were charging for signatures. I stuck to mostly like dollar bins and $2 bins and stuff like that to get my stuff, just because I was it was kind of make a decision. Do I want autographs on some books, or do I want to go ahead and go out to some keys? And I was like, you know what, I got plenty of time for the keys. Let me get some dollar stuff and make out like a bandit. So that's what I did.
Nice. Sounds like it was fun.
I'll make a video for it. I'm sure you guys can decide whether I made it like a bandit or not. If you're like, why'd you get that dollar book? You know what? Because it's $1, man. What else am I gonna say? But,
yeah, I did that
fun.
myself.
Yeah,
had to pass up a $1 book.
I mean, if you want to discuss it a little later on or whatever, I mean, I just have a question. I mean, and I can't see the chat because I'm on my phone, so if everyone is saying hi to everybody in the chat and everything, I'll have a video up, hopefully within the next couple of days about Comic-Con and everything like that.
Cool.
But, for everybody in the chat and just in general, like, would you say that you go to Comic-Cons looking to get keys, or are you really just trying to get those fill-in issues just because, you can score a lot for a little? I think for me, that's probably, unless there's something that really just like, I saved up and I'm just like, you know what, it's on my list for 2017 or whatever. It's on my annual list and I want to go ahead and make the best of it. It's right here. It's in the price range that I want. Yeah, I'll pull the trigger. But I think for the most part, just, dollar bin is the way to go. The problem is, though, just that, sometimes, you get a little bit $2 bin happy, and then you put your stuff in the bag, and then, if you have a backpack or whatever, you're paying for it the rest of the day, especially if you did it earlier in the day. That's what I did.
Yeah, right.
I went to I went and got a couple autographs of people that I wanted to, and then, just decided to walk around because not everybody was there. And so I'm like, let me just get a bunch of dollar bin books. And next thing I know, my bag is like 70 pounds. I'm like, oh my God. It's just like, so I'm, lugging that around for 8 hours. It was rough, but it was fun though. I had a good time.
Nice. Yeah, I find that the wall books are usually, they have the contacts with them. So like Justin was saying, with the NM98s being over $300. So if you find a deal, great. But in my experience, those are not the place to find those key wall books. I like to hit up, like they're saying in the chat, and Deadpool guy has a question for you, but they said they go for the signatures first. That's what I do. I bring my books to get signed, stand in line in Artist Alley for those first.
Yeah.
And then I go around to the booths and I hit up the bins, whether it's the $1 bins or the $5 or $10 bins. But I typically, I definitely look to see what they have up on the wall, but it's been rare that I've actually pulled the trigger on one of those. I'd rather come out with a bunch of dollar books and, a key wall book that I paid twice as much for than I should have.
I feel like that's a lot of people's stories. Like, I bought this book, and then you find out like you could have got it for like half that price or cheaper later on. You're like, man.
If you just walk to the next guy.
Exactly.
That's why I always make a lap first. You got to make that lap, then you can start digging.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
got to scope out the place first.
But you have the benefit of those smaller cons where it's like making a lap is so much easier. In Boston Comic-Con, it's like now it's Fan Expo Boston. I mean, there was so many vendors and so many different things that like a lap was humongous. Like it was just like, oh wow. Like, and it was like up and down multiple rows, so it was just like, I went signatures first, and I budgeted out my time. I learned that a little bit better, where it's just like, you know what, all right, these books on Friday, these books on Saturday. I got the bulk of everything Saturday, so Sunday my bag was way lighter, and you know, I got to meet, you know, I got the last few people I needed to get, and then, you know, it was a lot more relaxing and easy just going around checking out some booths and stuff like that. But you know, I don't know if this is a set like now. Jesse, you have Fan Expo down in Florida, right? That's what MegaCon is, right?
It's SuperCon. It's not owned by Fan Expo. It's its own entity.
But is it I'm trying to think, because I know there's like Fan Expo in Toronto, Fan Expo I think in Dallas. I think there's one in it's not, it may not be owned by it, but it's run by it in Florida. And I was gonna say the way that they did the setup for our building, and it might just be a first time thing, but they put Artist Alley kind of in its own like little spot. So there was it was right next to all the you know, movie stars and stuff like that. So they separated that out, and then they basically made a big U along the wall. And the problem with that is that, you know, in the middle of the big U, they just had a lot of different tables and stuff. So you know, smaller artists in the middle and stuff like that. So you didn't have like the wide open lanes so that you could you know, form multiple lines. So unfortunately, you're sitting in there, and for the John Romita line, you had to pass by Bob Wycheck, and then John Romita's in the middle, and then Joe Rubenstein is next to him, and then Ryan Otley's down there. It's just like, so you had people kind of just, you know, kind of just clustering along, trying to get everything, you know, signed by different people. And so, you know, some people wouldn't approach because they didn't know, and, you know, you get people just sitting there waiting for autographs and you know, waiting for you know, collectors to come up and get some autographs. But there's so many people just kind of in one stars line that like everybody just kind of like assumes that that's the line, you know, for everybody. So I feel like that setup needs to change a little bit, because I think that discouraged some people from getting some autographs. Like when I went to go see Bob Wycheck, it was like nobody, like for him there was nobody, but like because Romita was next to him and he had a huge line, like people were avoiding Wycheck. So I was just like, oh, you know, so I mean, it worked out for me, but you know, it's just kind of a crazy setup. But anyway, let's get back to your agenda. That's my whole catch up. That's what I did. You know, that's this. So this weekend's over and done with. Yeah. So as far as comics are concerned, I pretty much have to wait a little bit to, you know, build back up and get some things going. I do have a couple of things that came in the mail and everything, but you know, it just this definitely took a chunk out of my comic budget for a while. So
yeah,
gotta wait.
It's time to do that. Yeah.
Yep.
I think we all can relate to that.
Yeah.
Actually, Deadpool had a question for you. Did you? Where was it? He said, "Did you go?" Oh, here it is. Oh, wait. Did you hit up the guy doing $21 books, get 20 free? Did you see that table?
Yeah, I saw it, and I looked through it, and I was just like, there was stuff I like. I was looking through everything, and I was like, oh, you know, not bad, but there was nothing I was really looking for. And I know it sounds stupid, but it's just like, it's like 20 just random books. So I mean, there's things that you, number one, don't want, and then number two, it's just like stuff that already came out that you might already have that like came out within the last few weeks. So I just
it makes no sense in that case to buy those. Save that for something you're actually looking for.
Yeah.
Money that does. All right, cool. All right, so let's jump into the topics. We already, actually, Chris, just so you know, we talked about the stunt double who had passed away. Zazie Beetz' stunt double. She was on a bike, you know, doubling as Domino, and she had passed away. So we touched on that. But the next thing we actually want to touch on is some Valiant news. I think that Blackpool, if he's still here with us, will like this, and that is that Joel McHale is in early talks to be Woody in Quantum and Woody.
Oh, nice.
I can see that.
What do you guys think of that?
I mean, early talks is always a good sign. You know, there's definitely. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to see that happen. You know, I like to see anything kind of, you know, switch over from just being the whole status quo of Marvel, DC, and all that. So bring it on. Let's see some other, you know, companies get some movies out there, and, you know, hopefully these talks go somewhere, and they're not just kind of like, hey, we're just saying stuff to make you happy.
Right. No, I'm good with that. I think it could be a good movie. I read that first trade of the relaunch, which is, I think, the story they would probably go with, or at least those characters and not the older ones.
Right.
So he could do that. Probably pull it off.
Yeah, I think so. So we don't know who the other one will be yet. His name's Eric, I think, right?
Think so.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I like this. I think just based on this photo we have, or not photo, but this picture we have up, visually perfect.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a good choice. Early talks, you know, things always could fall through. You know, scheduling, you know, money. What do you call that? Paycheck. There's a lot of stuff that between now and when they go to film to happen, but hopefully in this case this will work out. I think it's a good choice.
Yeah.
So
yep. Here's the hoping.
Yeah. So anytime there's some movement on the Valiant front, especially in the movieverse, we always touch on that. So wanted to make sure we catch you that news, guys. So there you go. So the next thing is actually going to be some Sony news. Riz Ahmed, who you may know from Rogue One, is in talks to be in the Venom movie. Early speculation was that he was going to be Carnage, and that was apparently true until some rewriting and stuff happened. And he's still attached to the movie, but he's going to be playing a different, as yet unnamed character. So I do like Riz Ahmed. I think he was great in Rogue One. So hopefully they'll give him a good role in this. But what do you think of that? You guys like Riz Ahmed?
Was he the guy? Which one was he in that? Just because I don't know the name, so I mean I can't place a face with the name, I should say. Was he the guy who was with Jen Erso when the planet was getting blown up, or was he the guy, the communications officer that they had to rescue?
Let me find you a picture of him.
All right.
Wait, what did I say here? Riz is going to be Venom's what? No. He's playing. Riz was the guy with the goggles.
The goggles. Oh my goodness! No, the goggles. I don't remember anybody with goggles. Like I'm all messed up now. I don't know. You know, if you can find a picture of him, then I can make a better frame of reference. But if he's either one of those two, then that's cool. If he's not, then I'm not quite sure who it is. Like once I see him, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. But if he's not going to be Venom, curious who else he would be. I mean, just because, I mean, we still haven't figured out exactly what storyline they're going to be telling in that movie, right? Like, you know, with Carnage, I mean, would it be, I guess, before Maximum Carnage, but during the time where they, I guess, meet up in jail?
But who knows if that even is going to play into it, since they're doing something completely different. Like, obviously, this isn't the symbiote that used to be a Spider-Man costume. This is something different. So anything can be completely different now.
That's true.
Exactly. We still don't know, and I still, even now, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I still can't wrap my head around characters so attached to Spider-Man and not having Spider-Man in it. And like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse. We've talked about that on many episodes, but I don't understand what the logic behind that is. You know, like, hey, everybody, you know, I know you responded so well to Spider-Man Homecoming. Everybody likes the direction. So let's build out that universe, but not use that character that everybody liked. You know, like, I don't get it.
Yeah. I hear you. I don't know. I mean, that's Marvel's whole. Not Marvel. That's Fox's deal. I get on Sony's deal. I mean, and you know, I mean, is everything okay on the? I mean, I figured they were better. Oh, okay. Hold on.
Riz Ahmed. He played Bodhi Rook.
Yeah, I think that's a communications guy. I think I don't know. Like, that's a tough part. Like, I was just, you know, I remember watching the movie. Like, either way, I think that's who that's gonna be, which is fine. You know, I just think that when it comes to you know, the story. Like I'm more concerned about what character he's going to be and what story they're telling and how they're going to, put it across. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel
from
like
what I hear, they might be doing a bunch of the other symbiotes in the movie. So, I mean, there's a bunch of different, other, symbiotic characters he could be.
I thought that, I mean,
Toxin.
Yeah, it could be Toxin. Could be, I mean, a bunch of the different ones. It could be like, what was it, that separation anxiety that book called, that 6 of them.
But then you're getting into there's way too many symbiotes in a movie. In like a first movie, you're gonna like blow your load and just drop them all. It's like, what are you doing? You're gonna give us the biggest 2 that you possibly can in the first movie. That's might not be a good idea. But then again, that could be them going, well, we don't know if we're gonna get to make a second movie, so we just got to do it all in this one.
You know what? That scares me though, because that's the exact same thing that they were saying with the first time Venom was on screen, being like, you know what, we might not get it. The movie's over, so we're just gonna go ahead and just make this be what it is, and we're gonna make this what it is, and then we're just gonna kind of hang back and worry about it later on. I switched from my phone.
I saw what you did there. That was
creepy.
But that's the way I look at it, where it's just like, oh, well, we're just gonna throw whatever we can because we're losing the license and nobody cares. And it's just like, that's not the way to go. That's not the way that's gonna, I mean, the thing that they have to worry about too, or that we have to worry about, I shouldn't say they, because it's not gonna matter to them one way or the other. Like, the movie bombs, doesn't matter, they'll make other movies, but for us, if Venom bombs again at the theaters, we won't see Venom ever again, because they're not going to relinquish him to Marvel to have them do him right, and then they make all the money. So it's just like, in a way, if you want to see Venom on screen, you kind of have to root for this to do well and hope that they do it right.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all want it to do well, but it's Sony being Sony once again. Putting way too much out too fast, getting way ahead of themselves, just like they did the first time they tried to build out the universe.
Yeah. We want it to be good. We want it to do well if it is good. If it's bad, we want it to do poorly.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
Exactly.
But the thing of the matter, or the matter at hand, is just that when you look at it, still is just like I can't help but think that in order for this thing to in order to be able to see Venom on screen again, it has to be good. Like, not because I'm just like an ultra huge Venom fan. It's like, no, it has to be good. Please. It's just like, if we want him on screen again, because it's going to be an expensive process to get him out there, it's going to be tough not to, put your best foot forward. So, when's the release date for that? 2019, right?
Has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's enough time for someone to talk some reason into them. Like, all right, pump the brakes a little bit. Let's get things going. Let's really figure out what we want out of this movie before we, just kind of throw everything at the wall and hope that it sticks.
Yeah, that seems, or from what we've heard from outside looking in, exactly what the course that DC took. Right, they got way ahead of themselves and they said, "Whoa, let's slow down. Let's make sure we're doing these right. Let's kind of focus on this and make sure correctly for it to work."
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Trying to see the topic list to see where we're at, because I don't want to talk, because I had a thought, but I don't want to sit there and skip too far ahead, because it's a thought based on information that was seen over the weekend. I was like, wow, really? But I think it kind of ties into this pretty well, though.
Okay. To this topic here?
Yeah. So, oh, good. I don't think you had it on the. So yeah, like there's a rumor going around now. I don't know how true or untrue. I mean, it seems like it's pretty true. People are kind of looking at it like it was a big deal. But so the first, I guess, shoot of Justice League came out, and it was, I guess, deemed unwatchable. Like the very first cut of it. And that's the thing. Like, it's just like, maybe they're trying to do, maybe they try to go through and do something different, but they're saying that they're doing massive reshoots at this point. It's just like,
movie comes out in 3 months. That's
No, they're done. They're finished with the reshoots.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Just the
That's already been. Yeah, that's been done.
They did take months and months and spent, over probably close to $30 million, which is a lot of money. Usually they do reshoots, what they call additional footage, or there's another word for it too. But it's usually a couple weeks and a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
But I think that what really kicked that off, and a lot of it too, is the schedules with the actors.
Yeah.
They've gone on. It's been long enough. They're on other movies, like we talked about Henry Cavill and the whole mustache thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a lot there kind of at play, but I think that we shouldn't worry. I don't think it's something to worry about, especially who we have at the helm now directing it. So I think that with him there, kind of putting the glue together for it, making a lot more sense. I mean, look, he gave us the Avengers, he gave us Dollhouse, a whole bunch of things that are awesome, right in the genre. He knows what he's doing. So I think that these reshoots are actually a really good sign. Like if they had done this more with BVS, we would have gotten something a little more, in my opinion, more watchable than it was. So,
yeah.
I think this is actually a good thing. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, all right. Because I mean, I was under the impression that they were trying to go back and kind of head back into filming and try to do something to change a whole bunch of it, like right in this moment in time. Like that, what are you doing? It's too late. But we'll see. And hopefully, like you said, it's in good hands, and we get a movie that's more than passable, that's actually good and is worth spending the money on, and then look us forward to going to the sequels and everything.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. I know that one of the things that they were looking at doing a lot more with the reshooting with was Cyborg. Apparently they didn't like how that character was coming across on screen.
He was terrible looking in the trailers. I mean, I don't know if everything was all, I don't know if that was the final approach to him, but he looks like shit. That's just my opinion. But then, Cyborg looks terrible. He just looks like a floating head. Floating half a head, basically.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing. So the next thing here to talk about, are you guys familiar with Neuromancer? It was a book that came out in the 80s.
I'm
Did
not.
you ever read that? By William
novel?
Gibson. Yeah, it was a novel. It came out, like I said, in the 80s. Basically, it was the originator of the cyberpunk genre. So anything credited to that, whether it was The Matrix, what was the movie where they hacked the world? Oh, God, I can't think of the name of it right now. Hackers. Yeah, there you go. That's the name.
Hack the planet.
Yeah, anything in cyberpunk, anything kind of attached to
Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, all these are credited to having started with this William Gibson novel. It was basically this guy. He's kind of a junkie. There's an urban sprawl, kind of like what giant ongoing city, kind of like in Dread, right, with Mega City.
Yeah.
And there's this whole like interconnected internet basically that you could jack into, which is exactly what they said in Matrix. So it's basically, it's very forward looking into the future. There's a guy, his name's Case, that's his name in the book. But this is going to be adapted finally after all this time by Fox, and I believe it's Simon Kinberg who's attached to direct the film. But if you like that genre at all, this is definitely something to be excited for. And I think a lot of people hasn't this been adapted yet. It's Tim Millar from Deadpool. So he left Deadpool. Now he's gone on to do this with Simon Kinberg. It's pretty much in early stages here. But the year it came out, it won. So in sci-fi with novels, there's awards for it, right? Just like any genre, any sort of medium. It won the 3 big ones for that year. It won the Nebula. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It won a Hugo Award.
I know the Hugo.
Yeah, and the big one, the Philip K. Dick Award. Ooh. So it won all 3 of those. It swept the big ones for that. So that kind of speaks to how cool of a book it is. If you haven't read it, some of the themes in it, I mean, tech and everything, yes, it's not going to stand up. They'll have to obviously modernize that, but the themes behind it definitely would stand up today. So
that's cool. I'll be down for
it. Lords of Longbox is here. What's going on, man? Strictly Comics is here as well. So a couple of shout outs there. Gomez, boom. Catmon Strange, what's going on, man? Didn't see you there. And Midwest is here as well. So apparently Tio likes the Philip K. D. I'll leave it at that. So yeah, check that out. It should be coming out. It's early stages of pre-production at this point, so there's no kind of like release date or casting for it yet. But we'll follow along with it as it comes out. We'll give it to you here on the show, as we like to do. So the next thing we could talk about, which is on the agenda, is Flash, season 4. Right?
Sweet.
Flash season 4. Yeah. So character named Hazard has been cast. It's going to be Sugarland Beard playing that. We've already gotten a bunch of people for it. There's going to be help me out here, but Thinker. Yep, Mechanic, Baron Katana. Breacher is Danny Trejo's character, a bounty hunter guy. Elongated Man's going to be in it, so pretty good rogue gallery there. Yeah,
Ralph Dinby.
And they said that they're going to be lightening the tone for the season this year. So I think that's pretty cool. Last season was kind of pretty dark and everything.
Yeah,
so,
it was.
They're going to be getting back to the jokes. So that tells me maybe HR is coming back, right? I don't know. But definitely looking forward to the season. I do like that show.
I haven't seen season 2. I'm kind of out of the loop on that.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. I did check out the last half of the season for Green Arrow, and that was pretty cool, especially how it ended. But I think that right now Flash is my favorite, and they are, like we talked about in one of the past shows, they are going to be doing a major crossover amongst the shows. And one of the gripes with the last one that they did with Invasion was that Supergirl didn't have much of a role kind of towards the end of it. She stepped in, but with this one, we don't know what the actual story is going to be, but they did let people know that yes, she will have a bigger role in this 4-parter. So that's definitely something to look forward to. So that would be Flash, Green Arrow, Supergirl, kind of.
No, I'm pumped about it. Like
for a week.
Yeah, I mean, the last season of Flash was super dark. I mean, that was the whole thing, was like death, and trying to avoid a death. So, yeah, I'm completely fine with them getting back to a more lighthearted Flash, because that's how the character's supposed to be,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even in the DCEU, right? In the trailers, he's the guy that's cracking the jokes. Whether they work or not, that's another story.
Yeah,
he's the guy cracking the jokes. So
yeah. All right, we'll leave that alone.
Yeah. Okay. Jackie said he still won't watch Supergirl. So, yeah. So actually, we didn't have it on the agenda, the topics list, but Tim actually brought up Defenders is starting this coming weekend.
Oh yeah.
Super excited for that. I don't know about you guys, but this is one that I'm going to be binging all the way through. I'm going to start.
I think I'm going to watch the first episode and then do a video about it and then kill the rest of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to binge watch too, probably.
Yeah.
It's a race.
See who he can watch them all first.
Yeah.
I'll lose because I have to watch with I watch those shows with my wife. She likes those. But she's always, she can only go so far. Like, she's kind of like, there's just the weary traveler from time to time. Like, after, watching like 2, she's like, all right, we've come so far. Time to close the book. I'm like, what do you mean time to, what? No. So you guys will all beat me to the end of it.
Yeah, I know Chris over on Comic Frontline, he's going to be doing a live stream with Brant. So they're going to be watching like a couple a day, but live streaming through it. So that's
Is
a
that
cool way to do it.
well? So
They're not going to show it. They're just going to be doing the commentary along with it.
Exactly right. So it'll be like watching the additional footage on the Blu-ray, right?
Or like watching it with a couple people in the same room with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're going to show the video and just talk over it?
No, they're not.
Nope,
they're not
gonna show
showing the video.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're showing the video of themselves talking about them.
So it's kind of like a Game of Thrones reaction video.
Okay.
You can hear the audio, but then all of a sudden, you don't see anything but reaction.
When
Defenders is short too.
It'll be on episode. Yeah, I think it's like 8 episodes.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'll be done with it Friday night.
Yeah, right. Me too, probably. It'll be a race. All right. I'm gonna get right home and turn it on.
I'm gonna take a nap Thursday after work, and then I'm gonna get up at 3 a.m. and start watching it.
I'm gonna watch it at work on my work computer.
Oh wow.
I'm not gonna work on Friday and just watch it all the way through.
I just called out sick. I'm already no.
Oh.
Thursday.
Jesse wins.
Yeah. we'll all see it. It's not a race, but we will wait to talk about it till we've all seen it. 8 episodes is perfect. I absolutely agree with that. 13 would be a stretch for it. So hopefully this will be a good sort of beginning, middle, and end for it.
Well, real quick, it's actually good that you're talking about that because we all got to at least watch a couple episodes because I assume, Jesse, you're going to want to talk about this next week, Tuesday.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so got to give Chris at least a couple episodes to watch before we.
Oh no, I mean I'll definitely be watching some, but it's just one of those things where it's just you guys might be done the whole season. I'll probably only be getting to like episode 5 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do maybe like a spoiler-free talk, and then later on, because we want to give everybody else a chance to do it as well. We'll watch all the way through, that is. So maybe next week we'll do spoiler-free, and then when we kick it over to Thursdays, we can dive a little bit deeper into it.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And that actually, talking about this kind of ties into something. I'm going to jump ahead on. No, don't do that. The other one. It's a little bit further down on the topic list, but basically we talked about it last week with Netflix and Marvel. Obviously Netflix, you guys have all heard the news. They want to break off and start their own streaming service, right? We've all heard that. And again, we talked about it last week, but that's going to be for the Pixar movies. That's going to be for the vault, the library that Disney has. It doesn't include Star Wars, and it doesn't include Marvel, right? So the deal that Netflix had with Disney, this whole thing with Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Daredevil, obviously, that was a separate deal from their licensing agreement for the streaming.
I had a feeling because it just seemed like Disney, for everything that they do, you'd actually be kind of surprised to find out like what movies are actually Disney movies, based off of, I guess, subsidiaries and stuff like that of the company. They put out a lot of stuff that, if you're really going to break down and say, okay, what movies are actually Disney movies, you'd be surprised to see that there's some rated R stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you wouldn't think that Disney puts out that they actually do. So that's what I was, my only question with it was just like, so are they ready to risk their family reputation on a streaming service to kind of take back some of that property, take back everything that's off of Netflix and say, oh, this is part of the whole Disney, vault, and this is the way Disney is. Just like, okay, but there's people that ain't gonna, people gonna be like, what's this mouse doing? Like, what is this? I think about Jessica Jones in particular. The first 3 episodes is just her and Luke Cage banging like crazy. It's just like, you can't show that. And still keep a family friendly. You can't keep a family friendly image when that's literally the first 3 episodes of the season.
Yeah.
So exactly right. Yeah, it's still in the works. I know Netflix is trying to keep those properties with them, right? And this whole deal with the shows was pretty. It was definitive, right? It didn't actually include Punisher, right? Things did so well that they actually added that later. but it was for like 5, I think. Wait, so Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist,
Defenders,
Luke Cage. Right. Okay, so it was 4, and they knew at the start that it would culminate in Defenders. So 5 movies total, grew out to include Punisher and stuff. But hopefully that will stay there with Netflix. It's a good place for it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And they're working on keeping it there. So
I think it would be fine there. I mean, you leave it there, let those stay where they are, keep your family image, take back all your Pixar and all the rest, and then, everybody's happy. And then Netflix actually really makes out in the deal because they still bought, the Millarverse, and it's just like, so there's deals for that along with, the Marvels that they already have. So, and they also have, they also stream seasons of all the DC, television shows and The Walking Dead as well. So, I mean, Netflix is a pretty big hub for comic book, content as far as, movies and TV shows. I mean, they have a lot of different stuff. And the DC animated stuff. I forgot about that too. So, I mean,
exactly. So
I wonder if they would market themselves in that way where it's just like, they have their streaming service and it's just like, we're the number one for all your comic book, show needs or whatever.
Yeah. I remember we talked about Mark Millar last week and all the different options there. One of them actually, I think it was an accident. It was Capullo being congratulated for his, and I'm using quotes here, his Reborn / Netflix show.
Ooh.
And then they backtracked, and they said, no, that's not what we meant. But that may have been a case of Netflix saying, Capullo, what'd you do? Don't let that out just yet. Yeah. So that's something potentially that may be one of the first that we get is Reborn through Millarworld.
I'd be happy for that. I actually talked with Sean Good and Murphy at Comic-Con about if he was able to get Tokyo Ghosts put on there as well, because like that would be a crazy series to put on there. Like that would be really fun to see. He's like, it's like there's hope, and I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I got my fingers crossed because I want to see it. So. They have, the ability to put some really good shows. The Millarverse is really good stuff, and it's just like, what I really want to see them make, and do right is Wanted. I want to see them actually do that movie correctly, and because what we got in the theater, a few years back is not the book. It's not even close to the book. Wanted. It was actually a lot better than what the movie was. The movie really watered it down a lot. And it's kind of funny because that was a rated R movie and they still took such a, tame approach to it.
Yeah. I would like that. I think they're going to focus on the unadapted stuff first.
Yeah.
Like Reborn, Jupiter's Legacy, things like that first.
Yeah.
And then maybe, once there's more time between when it was done. Because I don't know how it works with those. There you go, Jupiter's Legacy. So there's a bunch of others that are already in the works that this won't affect. And along those same lines, we might as well talk about the next part of the same subject is Robert Kirkman. There is a big lawsuit going on right now with some money owed and stuff. But he did say with his new deal with Amazon, not to worry about Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. This new deal is strictly for new projects, right? It's not going to affect what the deal he has with AMC, with The Walking Dead and stuff. Those are still, Eddie explained, is going to be continuing to be there. So again, this deal with Kirkman, with Amazon, is for new projects, new starts. So that was I was happy to hear that clarification. I really didn't want Walking Dead to jump over to Amazon streaming. So, yeah.
What other properties would he put on Amazon? He's got Invincible, which was supposed to be a movie.
It still is. It's Seth Rogen's doing it.
Okay. So maybe he's got some. Well, he also did Thief of Thieves, and I don't read everything Kirkman, but I'm just curious on what other properties he could, throw on Amazon.
And I know Otley's on Grizzly Shark, but I want to say that Kirkman is too. Even though that's a really weird one.
You got to think they've got some stories that they haven't told in comic book form yet, or something. So they could just be
possibly
their own properties of stories we don't know anything about yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking up his body of work right now.
Because I mean, if he's had a couple successes, I'm sure they were open to hear other ideas he had. You know what I'm saying?
What else do you have in there, Kirky?
Right. Let's see that notebook, fella.
It would be all the Skybound stuff, basically. I think is what we've opened this up for.
Yeah, I would like to see Starlight. Jackie said that. Somebody said that. I think that would be, they could do that fairly easily.
Come on, my computer's slow.
Chronox.
It's a different laptop than the one I normally use. It'd be fast.
Faster.
You got tricked by those turtles.
Come on. All right, so I'm trying to look here. I don't know what Battle Pope is. Capes? How about Capes?
Capes I've heard of.
Yeah.
Battle
That'd
Pope
be cool.
I've heard of as well. Capes. Something. I'm trying to think of Capes. I want to say.
Or maybe it's Cuphead.
No.
Three.
Where The Walking Dead came from.
No, I'm thinking of something else.
I think it's like Capes #9 was like the first Walking Dead, like the very first time you see like zombies in The Walking Dead.
He worked on. They used to do what they call pilot season through Image, where they would put out a bunch of like stories, and people could vote on which ones that they liked, which ones would be ongoing or a mini series for the next year, right? And one of them, I think this one would be awesome, is Demonic. He worked on that one. There was one year where Kirkman did basically all of the pilot season issues, and one of them was Demonic. That's where the first appearance is for Demonic. There's I think it just wrapped up, but there was a 5 or 6 part mini that just came out. But I think that would be an awesome. An awesome.
I remember reading that first issue. It was, I don't know, it was okay. I wasn't blown away by it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the execution of it, but I like the concept behind it.
Yeah.
It's like forced to kill by this demon, and he doesn't want to, but
Come on, Death Note.
No, Demonic.
Yeah, Demonic. Yeah.
Similar to Death Note. Almost.
Yeah. Which is coming soon as well.
Yep.
The other thing he worked on is Masters of the Universe, which the reason I'm mentioning that is because apparently that just got a release date for, I think, 2019. So
nice.
The live action Masters of the Universe coming up. So that's pretty cool. Completely off topic, but I just saw it on the list here.
That's right.
So
that's why I wore the awesome Masters of the Universe t-shirt tonight.
There you go. Nice.
I mean, that's a movie that really has a lot of ability to be something cool.
And they announced that they're not going to be coming to Earth.
Which is perfect. Keep it on Eternia.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So are you saying Dolph Lundgren didn't do a stellar job?
No, he did a great job. He was just given a crappy script.
Yeah. What was it? I mean, they were trapped in like a...
They got sucked through a wormhole or portal to here.
Yeah.
And Courtney Cox had to help them.
It was weird. Anytime you have things kind of transition over to Earth and, these superpowered beings end up needing help from the Earthlings to get things done, shit goes sideways. Almost every, like, Transformers, we need you to help fight Megatron. Really? What's this little 5-inch man going to do? Except for get squashed.
As long as we have a
Nobody's
couple
going
characters
to see those for the humans.
Well, that's all I'm saying. As long as we have a couple characters that look human, we're pretty okay. Like Star Wars, nobody's from Earth. We're okay with that. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
I think it could be good, and just the way they do it as far as making it close. I mean, I'm looking forward to see how they portray, in I guess a good way, all of the henchmen of Skeletor, like Beastman and all them, because a lot of them were idiots. They were just like bumbling fools. But now they're going to be like generals in his army type stuff. So there's they have the opportunity to like make them actually really cool and sinister. So let's see what they do with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Beastman still has to be dumb.
I mean,
he has to be dumb. Beastman is dumb.
Well, so is Trapjaw, but
Yeah, those need to be dumb.
And then
like
Orca.
The other people had a measure of intelligence, but those two need to be bumbling. They need to be the comic relief in Skeletor's castle.
But I think He-Man has a whole bunch of characters to throw all into just the first film, don't you think?
Well, I mean, as far as villains go, I mean, it's just like you have to have Skeletor, you have to have Beastman, you have to have Trapjaw, and Eveline. You have to have those four at least. And then on the other side, you have to have Man-at-Arms, Teela, the Sorceress, and then what the hell's it little?
But then you also got He-Man,
Orko.
Tiger. I forgot the tiger's name.
Cringer and Battle Cat.
Yeah.
Battle Cat. That's right.
I mean, you would have to think you'd have to have some kind of origin story at first.
I mean, that's easy enough. You can pretty much tell that in like the opening. You know what I mean? And then where you have King Randor, and maybe they introduce maybe King Randor is the first hero of Eternia, but now he's getting older. Skeletor is back. He's stronger, and all the rest of it. And it's just like then you kind of. I mean, I'm writing the movie already for you, Edwin. I don't know what you're asking for.
But if you think about it, I mean, there hasn't been much He-Man since the mid-'80s. I mean, you're talking 30 years ago.
There's been...
We just got that Justice League He-Man thing like a year or two ago.
Yeah, no, like in comic books and stuff, but nothing on the big or small screen. Well, that was fantastic, yeah.
Well, they've had two...
When was they did in like 2004 or 2008? They did like a season or two of He-Man?
Yes, on Cartoon Network they did.
It was good.
And then in the 90s they did. And He-Man had a ponytail and he was from space. And,
oh, yeah, that was junk.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember none of that. Yeah, but I'm talking about mainstream stuff that'll catch people the attention of an audience. I mean, we know that stuff. We follow that stuff. But my God, like people who watch He-Man, they're in their 30s and 40s now.
Yeah. And
I don't know. It could create some buzz, but I'm just kind of curious on how well that would do on the big or small screen.
You also have like secondary villains and stuff like Hordak and stuff like that, who after Skeletor kind of went away, Hordak became the main villain in the series, and it was just like
yeah, but then Hordak was always She-Ra's main villain.
Exactly, it was weird. Like Hordak, kinda, like so it's just like there's a lot of different ways you can go with it. I mean, the number one thing is you have to hope that they just do it right. If they do, then we'll have plenty of movies and stuff to see. What it is that they're going to do with it, where they're going to go, and everything like that. The only thing I'm curious about is who's directing it.
Yeah.
Oh man, yes.
I don't want to hear Michael Bay's name. If I hear or see Michael Bay's name,
here we go.
I will literally throw one at the concession stand.
I know, right?
Comically Flawed said it. Ram Man. I still have. This is my
Ram Man.
1982 Ram Man.
Yes.
It's awesome.
You guys mentioned they redid the He-Man. Well, I saw the remake of Thundercats that was out like 4 or 5 years ago. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that was way better in my opinion than the original and had a great story. But the only time I would see it was like either 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I think they did like one season, I think. And then they just stopped. I mean, that was a fantastic story, fantastic animation, artwork, everything. So I'm thinking like
it could be better looking and everything like that, but it ain't no. I'm telling you right now, nothing will get you more excited to see The Trouble That's Coming than the original dude that did Monroe's voice. That guy was amazing. You can't replace him. When he starts screaming about
Yeah.
spirits of evil, it's all over. And I loved how much of a jerk they made Munra in the first series. It didn't matter what the hell that was going on. The Thundercats could have been doing the most simple of things. We're gonna clean up Cat's lair. Spring cleaning, guys. Oh, that's what you think, Thundercats. I'm gonna rain on you. Oh, it's like we're gonna have a parade for Joggy or for Jaga, just in his remembrance name. Oh, I'm gonna rain on your parade today, Thunder. Like he was the biggest asshole, and he just sit there and just spy on them and laugh so evilly and couldn't wait to ruin their plans, no matter what they were trying to do. So you know that's the only reason why, really, honestly, the first Thundercats series, even though the second one looked better and like you said, it had all that extra, bells and whistles and everything. The original is it for me, just because that Munra was ridiculous. Like he was. Oh
no, the original was good. My point is that even with a much better story, better animation, better art, it didn't catch anybody's interest. So I'm a little skeptical of this whole He-Man talk. That's all. And then does he like whip out a sword?
Like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and does he whip out, like, how cheesy would it be? He whips out a sword and I have the power. Like I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, just because I think that when you look at it, if you allow yourself to kind of go with it, it wouldn't be too bad. I think that I mean, like I said, it all depends on who goes about it, who's directing it, how it is. But I mean, that's the same thing as like, even though they made kind of a different nod to it, it was like when Captain America goes Hulk smash, like he didn't scream it out and say Hulk smash, in a cheesy way. He just kind of did it in the way that like everybody had a good laugh with it, but it still kind of fit. So who knows? I mean, maybe they'll do it in a different way. Maybe he won't even say I have the power. Maybe he'll just sit there, hold the sword up, and then lightning strikes him, and he's He-Man. I don't know.
Or like the other movie, he was just He-Man the whole time.
Yeah, there was no Prince Adam.
Yeah, it was just He-Man.
Yeah.
Like he never changed out of what's it called? Whatever those furry shorts of his. He's just sitting there chilling.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he did it at the end. But that was
never figured out Prince Adam. How is he not He-Man? Like, how did they not realize that?
Well, because in Eternia, he's really not until he says, "Yeah," I have them. And then because I mean, Tila and Man at Arms know.
Because then
everybody else is all like, "Ooh, see, He-Man."
Yeah, I don't. Well,
but
it's the same thing with Superman.
Almost. I mean, like Superman. Well,
it's glasses, man.
It took what? Like, I mean, I know that issue. I actually have the issue where like he takes his glasses off and you see Lois and she's all shocked. It's like it took you like 50 years to figure out that that's him the whole time. Like you couldn't tell.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. The people in Metropolis aren't that smart apparently, and neither are people in Eternia.
If the Vulture can figure out Spider-Man or Peter Parker Spider-Man, I think that somebody could figure out that Superman.
Well,
Clark Kent without glasses is Superman.
Right.
Well, I mean, he'd have to go and date Lex Luthor's, or like Metallo's daughter or something like that. Like, hey, how you doing, Clark? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, the whole time it was you.
That's right.
Oh, Tim says Hasbro's bringing the mask back. That was a cool show. Mask. I've been hearing about that for like 2 years now, though.
Yeah,
it was, but it was weird.
Universe.
The problem with Mask is that things didn't line up right, and I think that it got canceled before it really had a good chance to, like, they had story, but like everything kind of switched over and went back and forth a lot. And by the time that it got going, when it started to get good, I think they canceled it, and that was it. Like, so all we really got was reruns for the most part. We didn't really get to see the full story play out. So
yeah, plus they were just big on selling toys at the time, which I bought.
Exactly.
I did too.
Those are awesome toys. I have to say, like those toys were sick.
I had the truck and the motorcycle.
Yep, the motorcycle that turned into a helicopter.
Yeah, it was green. Yep, I had that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The hardest part was keeping the little Mask figures, because you would lose them in a second.
Yep.
People just, I can't tell you how many people just had like the vehicles, and then people like, so where's Max Trago? He gone. I don't know where Max Trago went.
Yeah. I used to have, and I'm sure we're all the same, but like the craziest crossovers. It was like Mask and Centurions and G.I. Joe and He-Man and Transformers all like.
Oh, I did that. One of the greatest presents I ever got in my youth was this WWF wrestling ring, and all my mismatched characters from all the different series I had. Just I put them all together and have this massive wrestling roster of all these different people. And for the longest time, there was a werewolf that came out with Ghostbusters, and he was my champion for the longest time because he was awesome. Like his arms could go up so he could slam you. He could like give you like chops in the corner. He was awesome. Like that was the most fun, was kind of mixing and matching. That's where exactly. you learn how to improvise, and different things happen. But it was fun that way, and that's where we get all this wonderful imagination from, because you unfortunately most of us didn't have rich parents that could afford everything, so it's just like you didn't get the playset that was in the commercial. You got a G.I. Joe, maybe a vehicle, and a Cobra guy, and then it's just like, oh shit, all right, we'll just have them beat each other up in the middle of the corner. Hey, Egon, can you help me out with this? Of course I can, G.I. Joe.
That's right.
Let me ask you, do you guys still have, and I'm not trying to go on a rabbit trail, but just a quick question. Do you guys still have any VHS animation cartoon shows on VHS?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any VHS.
Justin does. Yeah. Justin still got his He-Man from 1982. I hope he does.
I bought it recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Would you get it like 50 cents, $1 at a flea market or something?
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it was super cheap.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I bought that recently. I've got like some anime from the like late 90s on VHS.
Yeah, like I have Ninja Scroll on video.
Yeah, I got Ninja Scroll, Ghost in the Shell, Akira.
Nice.
On VHS, and then I think I also have those on DVD.
Yep. I haven't bought Ninja Scroll on Blu-ray, but I have. At some point I will, so I can have it in all formats, because I have it on DVD, have it on VHS, and Blu-ray will complete it.
That's the other thing. I still have my Mask of the Phantasm VHS.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I heard that they're trying to come up with a sequel for that as well.
Well, they're about to release it on Blu-ray, I think, too.
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome. Like, I would love to see those movies come back out on Blu-ray. Mask of the Phantasm was a classic movie. Like,
would you say it was the best Batman film ever released in the theater?
In theater, maybe, yeah, but
better than The Dark Knight.
Wait, you said animation though, right?
Oh, you said that's
period.
Film.
Best Batman story movie.
It's up there. You know what? Now that I think about it, because Dark Knight is very good. I mean, Dark Knight. I think for me personally, Dark Knight's the best one. But I would say it's got to be at least top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a great story.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that was when the animated series was at its peak. Also, I mean.
Yeah, but go back and watch it now, man. It's still good.
It's awesome. I mean, when you
of course we're biased, but Yeah,
no, I got it.
But
I haven't watched in a while, but
it had everything. Like, it had such a good backstory. Of the Joker and a lot of the characters even involved too. Even like some of the smaller ones, it was just like they showed you how everything came about, how it came to be. You find out that the Joker and Batman had a past, but way before they became anything. You know what I mean? As Bruce and whatever thug the Joker was at the time. It was really done well. And I mean, going back and watching those old Batman animated series. I mean, some of those are just so high quality that, I mean, honestly, like they could have, if you strung a few of them together, I mean, you could easily make a movie out of those because it was so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, cool. So let's move on to a couple other things. But before we do that, I wanted to mention that James Wan was in the news. He was interviewed by Heat Vision, which is part of the Hollywood Reporter. And he was talking about the Aquaman movie and just how technically challenging it is. And he said something to the effect of, like, even like when they're just sitting around, just chatting, it's super complicated because they have to look at the hair, how the hair would move and all that type of stuff. They're really trying to use a lot of practical effects versus, the CGI and stuff. So all those like underwater scenes, which obviously this movie will be predominantly underwater scenes. It's just very very challenging and very very technically difficult for them. So
yeah,
yeah.
a lot of people will say that when it comes to movies and video games, like simulating water, being in water, is extremely difficult, and it takes a lot to like you said, the way hair would move, based on it's just like, you got to think of it from the point of, if you're programming the effects and everything like that, if you're animating them all, like how much physics goes into all of that, and it's just like, it's more like doing homework than actually putting out something that it's like, oh, this is gonna be great looking. Yeah, it's great looking for you because you see the end product. For me, I wasn't bald when I started this project, and now look at me.
That's right. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think that it'll do well. I like James Wan. I don't know if you guys saw a while back, there was some Dolph Lundgren footage. Did you see that?
In James Bond?
So you kind of got to see for Aquaman.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Dolph Lundgren. He's going to be King Nereus.
Woo!
So kind of got to look at that, but yeah, they're basically just shooting underwater for a long while.
Also, rumor is that he's going to be in Creed Part 2. I guess Sylvester Stallone had it written down that Apollo Creed's son is going to go and fight Ivan Drago, and it's just like, Ivan Drago's got to be like 60 now.
Right.
That's just called assault at that point. But we'll see. I feel like the first Creed, even though it's and this is kind of straying away from comics and stuff like that, but the first Creed movie was done really well. If they wanted to go forward with it, they could, but they could also end it on a high note and just kind of move on. I think if they put, oh, you're gonna fight the guy who killed your dad, yeah, this makes it's not gonna make a lot of sense. It's gonna really just be like, kind of like, what for? Like, you're gonna beat up an old man for no reason other than he killed your dad way back whenever. Like,
he's still probably gonna have a good 50 pounds on him.
Oh well, I mean, if he can still punch, let's put it this way: if he can punch with, instead of was it 2,700 PSI,
right?
Now he can punch with only 1,500. You know what I mean? He's still obliterated.
Still killing. Yeah.
That's still
is Mr. T going to show up in one of these also?
And you get Hulk Hogan back too.
That'd be kind of funny, Mr. T.
Have a Royal Rumble, a Creed Royal Rumble.
That'd be awesome. Hey, fool.
Yeah. I pity the fool. All right. So let's get back on the topics here.
Yep.
We are kind of getting up to about 10 o'clock here. So next thing we're going to mention was that Geneva Robertson Dworet. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she has been tapped to make the script for Captain Marvel, a Brie Larson movie coming out pretty soon. She did the upcoming Tomb Raider, and also she's the one doing the Gotham City Sirens script as well. So I think that she's a pretty good fit for this. It'll be good. It's Anna Boden and Ryan Flack are the directors for it. So this just came out this week that she's going to be writing the script for it. So I think it'll be good. She there's this thing in Hollywood called the Blacklist that has a bunch of the big up and coming directors and screenwriters and stuff on it. And she has been on that a couple of times already. So that speaks to the quality of her work, and I think that it'll be good. It'll be good. So. Any thoughts on that? You familiar with her?
I'm not, but I mean, if she's, I feel like Marvel has a solid grasp on what they want, the story they want to tell, and how they want it to be done. So, if they have all that praise for her already, it's a good thing, and they are making the good choice to let her, go ahead and get this thing, under control and really see where they're going to take it as far as, bringing, Carol Danvers to the screen. So I think it's in good hands. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a pretty cool movie. I mean, we've obviously talked about it's going to be in the 90s. Carol Danvers in it. Nick Fury's in it with both of his eyes. Kree Skrull War is the big, overarching plot there. Now you got, somebody who is familiar with the genre and doing really well with it, writing the script. Good set of directors on it. It's all shaping up to be a pretty badass movie, so that's good.
Right.
The other thing, Silver and Black just got a release date. I don't know if you guys saw that this week.
No.
and that's coming out like a couple weeks almost before Captain Marvel. And I want to say it's February. Sometime in February. In any case, Silver and Black got a release date 2019. It's coming out. I think I just saw somebody write that in the chat too. NES Master, Captain Marvel coming out 2019. I believe that's the case. But I'm trying to remember. It was. I know it. It's gonna take me a second to remember it. I hate not remembering things.
It's okay.
Anyways, yeah. Silver and Black. I just got. Believe it or not. February 9th. February 8th. February 8th. That's when it will be. I just got Silver Sable first appearance. Didn't have that. So
Yeah.
I got that on the cheap. So
that's good. Amazing.
Yeah. 265.
Yep. I got mine.
194 is Black Cat.
I actually was able to score 2 of them. One at Boston Comic-Con, I think 2 years ago, and one at a local shop, both for $5. So I was like super happy with those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing it has going for it is Chris Yost is writing it. Chris Yost, of course, is the one that did X-Men Evolutions, thereby giving us X-23. He's been tapped. He did Thor Ragnarok. He's doing the script for that. Really good person to be writing the script here, so that's good. They get Gina Prince, I think it's Blythewood, who's directing, so it's shaping up to be pretty good there. I know February is not always a strong time for movies. Like that's kind of when they put things out that they're not sure will do well. Like that's why they put Deadpool there, for example. Ended up doing well, but February is one of those times when movies may not be so great. But I think this one will hopefully, if it's any indication, so far it'll be good. So
could be fun.
There is that. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, so I know. Yeah, exactly. We'll see. It is Sony at the end of the day, so we'll see.
It's another like Spider-Man characters without Spider-Man movie, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this one works a little bit more for me in my head. I kind of see like a, spy sort of thief, like the Saint type of thing, kind of playing out in my head. Like Jewel Thief and the mercenaries going after the Jewel Thief. Something like that. But that's kind of how it's shaping up in my head. So if that's the case, that would kind of work for me. Just like even if it was in Europe, like not even in New York, just completely taking out of New York City, out of Peter Parker's backyard, and maybe that'll be something going for it. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but
no.
Kind of where my head's at with that so far. Jack Yost said Chris Yost wrote some good comics. I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. And his buddy Craig Kyle. So, all right. So the next thing on our list is actually something that Rag is looking forward to, which is a little movie with a working title of Teen Spirit. I'm talking, of course, about X-Men Phoenix, Dark Phoenix coming out. A lot of news for that. We are getting some reports that Dazzler is going to be in it. Not only that she's going to be in it, but it's going to be an actress. Her name's Halston Sage. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her. She's going to be in the Orville, which actually I'm looking forward to as well. You guys know about that one, the Orville?
Yep.
Yeah. So that looks pretty funny. But one of the actresses in there, Halston Sage, is potentially going to be Dazzler, and I think that is a freaking perfect fit for it. I think that would be awesome. So the other one is a lady named Suki Waterhouse. So there's a couple in contention, but my vote would be for Halston. So that is what I wanted to tell you. And actually, if you want to see a picture of them both, I can do that. Or not. But you
or not.
No, go for it, man. I like the idea of Dazzler being on the screen, so definitely show that, man.
She's going to be a young Dazzler.
The kids say.
That chick is young. She like a Disney star or something?
These are your two potentials for Dazzler.
I like the one on the left. Or is that the same person? Just
It is the same
No,
person.
that's
No?
yeah. No, that's two different people.
Oh, okay. So
They're the one left.
Are they like Disney stars or something? I don't know either of them.
I'm not too familiar with them, to be honest with you. I just know that I'm looking forward to the Orville.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at.
I
I
like
think the
that
one
one.
on the right is the one with the black dress, smiling. She looks too young to be Dazzler.
Yeah. The one on the
But
left
wasn't
kinda
Dazzler
already has
teenage?
that Dazzler look to her. You know?
Yeah, but weren't they teenagers when they were first introduced?
No, Dazzler was like she looked like she was an adult, maybe in her 20s or something.
Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Young. You know?
Yep. Yes.
So, yeah. I'm looking at something right now. Yeah, apparently Sage was recently spotted amongst the Dark Phoenix cast. They were at a Hans Zimmer concert, and they were all together. So that's kind of gotten kicking this. It's still kind of a rumor right now, but it's kicking this rumor into high gear, and it looks like it's pretty likely. So, yeah, I think it was the one on the right is Halston Sage, not the one on the left that we were talking about with the heavy eye makeup.
So the young one, or the young looking one.
The younger one, exactly. The younger one.
Oh, I mean, it's all right if they're gonna, because I guess for the movie, if they're gonna make Dazzler, part of the team, I mean, she'd have to be in the same age range as the X-Men. So, I guess in that case you would go younger.
Exactly. Rag said, "Oh, good, not Taylor Swift. No, we're not getting any Swifties in this movie."
Oh God, Taylor Swift would be stupid.
That's right. I do like the fact that Jessica Chastain, is going to be Lilandra, Empress Lilandra.
Oh yeah, that is cool.
I think
Yeah,
a
that's
really
good.
fit. Yeah, definitely. There was talk about Angelina Jolie.
Right. Just because she kind of looks like what we envision.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Chastain's really good. Not only does she have the look, but she has the acting chops to pull off a, cosmic Empress Queen type of lady.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. And that movie, just so you guys, if you don't remember, it does come out at the end of 2018, right? Next year. Yeah, November of 2018. So that's when you can expect that. So that's cool. That's exciting. Definitely like Dazzler as a good addition to that cast. So should be cool. So there is that. So let's jump into some books for tomorrow. Do you guys have anything you're looking forward to? I mean, obviously Metal. Well, I think we're all getting that, right?
We'll see.
So,
Yeah, we ordered 120 copies of Metal.
120. Wow.
That's a lot. I saw the variant, the black and white variant, which a lot of people are.
Yeah.
It's not going for $100 currently on eBay, but it's getting up there. I imagine once those books release tomorrow, it'll probably be over $100. But I don't know if it was like a 1 in 100 or if it was a store exclusive and every store got one. It's like a 6-point star in the background, and they have a black and white version.
The midnight release, the sketch variant for the midnight release.
Yeah, I think so. But like that, I'm like, why would you do a black and white of that one? That's not even the most produced cover. The one where they're all the Justice League, I think, for the most part, are on the cover. That one we probably have like 80 copies of that. But I don't know, man. There's some really cool books. There's a lot coming out tomorrow that I think I'm gonna have some interest in.
Yeah, I like the Wonder Woman cover.
That is the Jim Lee one. Yeah, that's a good cover.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep,
one.
that was a really nice cover.
So Titan has a new book coming out tomorrow called it's Hercules: Wrath of the Heavens. But cover A is a Walt Simonson cover.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm gonna pick that up and try it out.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I was just going through the list. Yeah, Mighty Thor, Aquaman. I think I'm just gonna get cover A, which is Steven Sejnick. That's the one he's doing this time. It looks really cool.
I don't know how to say that either. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't even. Whatever. But yeah, so not like a crazy list for me. Ultimates 2-100. I'm gonna pick that up. see what that's about, because they're going back to the like it's not. This issue isn't the team that we've been reading the whole time. So
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, but yeah, no, I'm super pumped about that one. There is a what is it? The Wolverine generation book this week?
Yep, Wolverine.
Yeah, the with X-23 and is that all new Wolverine
and Logan?
Yeah.
She's all new. He's all
Yeah.
new. Yeah.
That's like I think it's like a $5 book too, man.
They're off. Yeah, all those generation books are $5.
Man, I'm gonna have to pull one back on the shelf.
It's the only one I'm going to be getting of the. I know they're individual stories, that they're anthological, but it is like a maxi series. But that's the only one I'm going to be getting of that set. So.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, but it's not really going to make much sense because I know we all read the Banner Hulk Generations, right? It kind of just jumped into it, and all of a sudden Bruce is there, and it's like, what the hell? How did you know? But it's not going to make sense until they explain what the vanishing point is, and I think that's going to be coming out in one of the last issues of Secret Empire. They're going to finally explain what that is, and once they do, I think Generations and why it's just sort of like throwing you into this like alternate reality, basically, is going to make a lot more sense. But right now, for me, it's just not doing it. It's too middle of the story, no setup, no real anything other than a little bit of interaction between these two characters. And that's not enough for me to lose $5 of my money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm just gonna get the Thor one.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, $5 a book is expensive, and there has to be a good reasoning for it, other than this is just going to be what it is. I mean, to pay $5 just to get confused is stupid.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it was cool. You get to see Bruce and Joe a little bit, kind of going back and forth, and Hulk's battle the Titans type of thing. But that's pretty much all it had going for it. I didn't like how they took what we like about Bruce and put it into Cho, basically. And for the Cho fans, if there are any, the couple of them there are, that's going to take away that fandom from them. And that kind of is still, even though you're putting what we liked about Bruce in the Cho, still not Bruce. So it kind of doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Rag 78 or 718 is saying, don't sleep on Totally Awesome Hulk 22. What's happening there? Is that because it's part of that mutant destruction? So is that going to be the actual first appearance of this Hulk adamantium creature?
Sleep on it. That's just my thoughts on it. Like, I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really.
I haven't been reading the book, so I have no clue.
No. Yeah. And I just. The look of it seems stupid. I mean, hey, who's to say that maybe it'd be awesome? But for me, I'm just kind of like, you can pass that. Like, you tell me about it, and then I'll let you know what I think later on. But
yeah, you guys picking up Sheena? That's coming out issue 0. I think it was pushed back a week. I think it was supposed to come out last week. But,
yeah, it's only 25 cents. I think people should pick it up.
Oh, really? If it's only 25 cents, might as well.
Yeah, we ordered a crap ton of them.
Campbell cover for it, and I don't know if that one's the 1-100, but a buy-in on a 1-100 on a 25-cent book isn't a whole lot. Obviously, you should be paying like
number 0.
What book is this?
Sheena.
Not to be confused with Shauna.
Which company?
Sheena's different than Shauna.
I think it's Boom.
Boom.
It is. I'm looking at it right now. It is Dynamite.
Dynamite. My bad. Dynamite.
So you got Lou Pacino, Moritat, Ryan Sook, J. Scott Campbell, all doing covers.
Oh, so it's like Shauna the She-Devil almost, but it's Sheena.
Right. It's Sheena, not Shauna.
You know what's funny? I just thought about too. While you guys are talking about that, I was looking at that 22 Totally Awesome Hulk. If I guess that there is some kind of speculation built up with it. It must be the appearance of that hybrid creature, that hybrid Wolverine and Hulk. Yeah, because and then people have been putting it up for I see two cover prices. I see a lot more, inflated prices up on eBay. So,
like pre-order,
yeah, like
nice.
pre-sale and stuff like that. Like, I'll show you. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, it really must be. And that was what it is. That must be what he's referencing. So that's cool. It's got to be close to the end of that story arc, part 6. Jeez.
Here we go.
Probably halfway through knowing Marvel.
Prices here.
Yeah, is anybody reading that? Is that a good? Like, I got the first couple of issues, but I haven't read it yet. Is it a good story?
Not for $30.
None of us are reading it. So,
dang.
I got the first issue of WMD, and then that was it. I just kind of, I just kind of went from there. Like, I wasn't hugely overwhelmed by the art or anything like that, so I was kind of like, eh. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, is that the question I have to ask is that character going to be substantial going forward?
Angel B saying the previous issues of Totally Awesome Hulk have been selling on eBay for 12 to 15. So there must be something crazy going on in this book that we're not even paying attention to.
Probably first appearances of some sort of like
a lot of there's speculation books, I'm sure, but still, it's crazy. Well, good for that book. Hopefully, it's selling well.
Yeah, good for them. If you like it, you like it. Something that a lot of people do like is the Dimension X story for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You guys reading that one? Issue 3 comes out tomorrow.
That's coming out fast. I haven't even started reading it, but I watched a little bit of Comic Frontline, and those guys talked a little bit about it over there. How I guess Krang is on trial, and I guess he's gonna be found guilty or trying to be found guilty for, I guess, crimes or whatever. But I'm definitely gonna read it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Justin, didn't you say it was a 12-issue series?
Yes, I think so. I think they said that one.
Okay.
The maxi series.
So they're on number 3, so I got time to get caught up.
Yeah.
Are you reading it, Jesse?
No, I'm not. I need to though. Not need to. I want to.
Yeah.
Nice.
You need to.
Another one I'm picking up tomorrow is I'm back on the Green Arrow book. I was off, but this story arc's been really, really good. But
this matter of time.
This issue though, we're getting Otto Schmidt cover for cover A, and it's Green Arrow in Gotham. So Green Arrow and Batman team up in this one.
Okay, that works.
I liked Tim's comment about. I guess they were discussing, the variants. So someone was talking about hip hop variants, and then it's just like So DC's trying to make it sound like they are making heavy metal covers. Is because Marvel did hip hop covers. Heavy metal album covers would be laughable, and they started bringing out band names, and I'm just like, talking about Rat and Poison, Cherry Pie, Power Girl variant, like that would be kind of funny. Just like I'm just sitting there thinking of like all these different all these different covers and stuff. Like, I mean, you see like the Justice League with like just long hair and like makeup. He's right. I mean, when you go back to like the 80s and the hair metal and all that type of stuff, I mean, just about every band that was out had lipstick and lacy shirts and all the rest of it. It'd be funny as hell though.
Yeah, imagine a Punisher with a electric guitar instead of a M16.
Those would be like those bat metal videos on YouTube. I watch those.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. Our friend, our comic book community friend, Tom Rorden. You guys probably sub to his channel. We've talked about him before. He's got a second issue for his book coming out tomorrow called Killbox Chicago. It's the second volume for that. The first one being Killbox. That's through American Gotham Press, but support the small indies, support the community. He's part of the community. His channel is Tom_S_Rorden, which is IRORDAN. So check him out. He does hauls, contests, and he's got this book, so pretty cool. So
very cool.
Lords of the Long Box said heavy metal is dead. It's alt rock now.
Yeah.
Teen Spirit.
That's like your opinion, man.
Man, there's still metal out there. It's just in Scandinavia.
That's right. The Frugenbergens. And that's kind of it. You know, it's another sort of small week. I don't know. I'm not seeing a whole lot.
It's, you know why? It's because this month is a 5-week month, and it's just like everything's so spaced out. I mean, and last month was too. So it's just like, you know, we kind of get caught up. You know, with there's not a lot of books coming out. I mean, there is a lot of books coming out, but there's like just like, you know, not a lot worth of merit, and then, you know, lots of news, but then, you know, just kind of go in, give our opinions on it, and then, you know, back to kind of speculating on what's going on. So you know, it's all right.
Brought up a good point too. I think it was Sunday. He said, "Is it really that it's a small week, or has it been that we've all cut our pull list down so much that that's just the norm now? That's our new status quo, and it just feels like it's perpetually small weeks."
I think it's what you said, man, because we got in so many books this week. This was probably the largest amount of books that I've ever seen. So I think you guys have really scaled back, because I'm actually seeing a few books that I'm going to add, not add to a pull list, but just extra books that I'm going to pick up tomorrow. That, like, there's a few Image #1s coming out. I forget what they're called, but we had a lot of books, man. A lot of books. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, I saw I saw
like 10 or 11.
I saw a sales, like, I guess it was like a speculative, something like a sales report saying that July was like it was a down month from June. I guess like a quarter of the sales went down from June at this point. So it's a really down month.
July numbers were atrocious.
The time of the year it is too. I mean, it's the summertime. People are kind of traveling, moving around. So it's just like, you know.
Amazing Spider-Man was selling right in like the 50,000 range for the month. On a premiere, like, that's like one of the flagship titles. Amazing Spider-Man. The 50s. That's pathetic.
Well, you know, there's been an article going around. This is one thing I can talk about. There's been an article going around Facebook of Disney and what their plans are, and, you know, speculating that, you know, Disney's looking to end, you know, print comics, and potentially basically license everything out to smaller, you know, smaller places, have them print the comics, so they take that risk, and then just kind of, you know, keep comics up. I guess keep print comics going that way, and if not, then just turn over to digital. You know, it's kind of a scary thought.
Was crap, and there was no real like data.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. It's just speculative. And, you know, people are like, oh, I don't know if it's going to happen. If this and that.
Well, it was something that somebody predicted 5 years ago. So it could happen. It couldn't. It might not happen. But you're right. Disney is good at licensing out their properties to other publishers, because IDW right now is doing Uncle Scrooge and, you know, those other Disney characters, Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. So I could definitely see that happen.
Agreement for Star Wars too, that they've had for a couple of years. I don't know. People are talking about, oh, it's new because they're doing their own like kids version of a Star Wars book, but they've had that agreement for Star Wars with Marvel for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
but that's just an example to back up what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think as a comic book collector and reader, I think it's a bad idea, but I hope it ain't true. Yeah, I hope it ain't true, but
I'm telling you right now, it won't happen.
If let's say it did happen.
I was following print's dead since the 70s. You know, every year, every 5-10 years, you know, things start going bad. You know, the bubble's gonna burst and all this BS, but it's not. It's not gonna happen.
I mean,
right now,
let's put it this way: if it did, and Marvel, so let's say Marvel stopped printing comics, they're out of the, you know, they just go with digital, right? I mean, that opens a door, I mean, wide open for like DC to pick up all those people that, you know, now were Marvel fans but can't get physical copies of their books, and Image and others to really, I mean, so I can't see, even if that did happen, I can't see it lasting all that long, where it's just like, you know what, you know, like Disney is going to save so much money that they're like, you know what, we're going to actually buy DC and do the same exact thing. No way. What would happen is that they would see that the digital sales probably wouldn't be, you know, as abundant as they would hope they would be, and then go right back to printing comics again.
Well, I think digital sales is only about 20. Well, not only, it's about 25% of all their sales. So that's a significant amount. But yeah, if they just go all digital, I'm not gonna buy none of that stuff.
No, and then if you want a physical copy, buy a trade when it comes out? That's foolish.
Yeah, I mean, they don't publish. We don't actually know all like the exact sales numbers for the digital, but another huge thing that like when you look at some of the numbers, basically what you see there is the direct sales or maybe the newsstand if it's DC or the indies. But Scholastic, the whole that whole side of it is a huge part of it. In fact, it's probably bigger than the direct market side of it. It's massive. They do a lot there. Directing, look it up. Comic book Scholastic market, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a huge, big money draw for the book. So I really don't think between big newsstand is coming back. There's some new agreements with like Barnes and Noble, for example, with some of the indies. They're going to be putting more books in Barnes and Noble for newsstand. There is, believe it or not, a push for some crossover, which we've talked about in the past with like movies and TV and kind of getting people into the shops and stuff. So I really don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Now, in terms of the bubble and the market crashing, people are saying that might lead to that. Again, I don't think that there's going to be a bubble burst, a big collapse like we saw in the 90s. There may be a little bit of a downturn. And that's probably exactly where we are right now. The market's sort of correcting itself, but it's not going to crash and it's not going to go away to where you can't go pick up your hard copies.
Because one of the complaints of the article was DC makes Marvel. I mean, sorry, not DC. Marvel Disney makes most of their money from these box office movies, these big movies. And I'm thinking, well, if you're making so much money, then you don't need to cut back on the comic books. Why don't you just use that money to keep whatever little bit you need to keep the comic books going? Because people appreciate those stories. I mean, just because it's not making you $100 million every few months when you put out a movie doesn't mean you need to just cut it. And Jesse, I hear what you're saying, man. You think it's a crap article, and it may be. I don't know. I don't read a lot of articles, but it was something that raised some concern to me. But at the same time, I don't read a lot of Marvel stuff right now anyways, just because of a lot of the crap they're putting out. And that's another thing that the article talked about was people don't appreciate diversity, and so they're pulling back. And it's like you're forcing something on people that they don't care anything about. So it doesn't have anything to do with that we don't appreciate diversity. It's just that we want good stuff, good content, good stories. We want our characters that we grew up with, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I do agree sort of with that part, and that's the big reason why Unstoppable Wasp got axed.
I didn't even know anything about that. Unstoppable Wasp?
Yep.
Yeah, she was on the new Avengers.
Going back to the Comic-Con sales figures, it sold about 7,500 copies total. Right? We always talk about that 20,000 unit sales sort of threshold. 7,000 for the issue. Like, wow. Obviously it wasn't connecting with people. Yeah. But yeah, Gwenpool's still going strong. She's going strong. Moon Girl's going strong. There's a few there. That I don't know.
True. I mean, I'm still picking up the books I've been picking up forever. Like Thor and Daredevil and stuff. But I'm not picking up like America or U.S. Avengers. It's like
Great Lakes Avengers,
Occupy Avengers.
Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I don't even think it's that. It's just they're not giving, like, for me as a longtime Marvel fan, they're only giving me a very few books that interest me, that are characters that I care about.
Yeah.
And I like America Chavez in Ultimates. It's a completely different character in her own book, like written completely different. So
yeah. Same with the Wasp. Like they went with a completely new character. Like has Janet ever had her own title? Like has she ever been?
I don't know.
Yeah, so they should have done like a Janet Van Dyne book, especially, with the news with her in the movie coming out, push her a little bit, in the comics. People see the movie or, hear about the news. They go to the shop. They're like, hey, I want a Janet Van Dyne Wasp book, not a whoever else Wasp book. But I think a big issue with these is the agenda that they're pushing so heavy-handedly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm okay with some of the stuff, but don't like slap me across the face with it. And I think that happened with a lot of these books. They're just like drilling it at you, and that turns people off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not like we've said before. If it's not going to happen organically and you just shove it down our throat, then we're probably going to throw it back up.
Yep. People have discernment, man. People can discern when something is being shoved down your throat. So people are just picking up on it. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah. That's right. Unless you're Tim and he's got no gag reflex. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. It's about 10:30 here. It's getting on about late. Let's do some final thoughts and shout outs, and then I got to go get ready for the midnight release party at the shop. So,
What?
So unfair.
Let's start with Justin.
Well, other than being extremely depressed about not having a midnight release party, no, I'm good. No, big thanks to everybody who showed up in the chat. That was really cool. There was a lot of fun going on there tonight. Yeah, I'm going to try to just buy comics off my pull list this week and not a whole bunch of keys and back issues and stuff again.
Don't tell Chris that.
Crap. No, they've got one I'm going to ask about. Never mind. All right, so fun stuff coming in the hall this week, everybody.
Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, be sure to check him out also on Sunday morning. Great show there.
Sunday morning comics. Yeah, thanks.
That's right. SMC. All right, Chris.
All right, so I am going to be at one point or another getting all these books together that I got from Comic-Con, showing off what I got signed, just kind of organizing, reorganizing, and, put up, a video with that. And then, like I said before, I did go to one of my top 10 books in, and I've been, I've actually had it for about 2 weeks, and I've been trying to get out there to get a video for it, but haven't had a chance. So that will be coming this week. I'm going to do my best to have it up before the end of the week, just because there's going to be a grind towards Sunday because my daughter's christening is on Sunday. So I will definitely have those up. You guys can go ahead and watch them. I think I'm going to do my Comic-Con video maybe in 2 parts just because there's a bunch of different books. But other than that, just stay tuned. I got some stuff coming for you. So hopefully everyone likes it. But thank you again for watching. Everybody, thank you for being in the chat, being as active and as fun as you are, and helping us drive the show in order to go ahead and, really discuss some cool issues and just have some fun with you guys. So thanks again. And because Big E's told me to own it, pick up a back issue, at least one. I picked up a bunch just because of Comic-Con, but yeah, man, pick up some back issues, get some stuff going, and then just have some fun with collecting and and just enjoy the rest of the week.
Right on, cool. All right, kick it over to Mr. Strictly.
Mr. Strictly. Call me Edwin, people. Call me Edwin. Nah, man. I just want to thank everybody who showed up in my auction Sunday. It went really well. It was a little bit shorter, auctioned off fewer books, but it was still pretty good. So just want to thank everybody for doing that. And don't really have a whole lot to say. Just make sure you guys get something good tomorrow. I agree with Chris. Get a few back issues. And just look forward to us next Tuesday.
There you go. Right on. And on that note, that's probably going to be the last Tuesday that we have, right? So after that, actually, I don't know, honestly, because I'm going to be on a trip. I'm going to be in California next week for work from Monday to Thursday. So there's no guarantee right now. I'm trying to set it up to where I can do the Tuesday night. It'll be from the hotel it's in Thousand Oaks, which is a little bit north of LA, a little bit east of Malibu through the canyon. That's completely irrelevant to what I'm saying. But I'm traveling back on Thursday, so it wouldn't be Thursday. But definitely the next absolutely definite show is going to be the 31st. We're going to try to do something in between there. We'll talk later. So I don't know right now. I'm just telling you guys that honestly, I don't know for next Tuesday. So your best bet, if you haven't done it already, hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button on the homepage for this channel. You'll be notified when we do go live or when we put up the video for it. So that will be so you don't miss it. Hit that notification bell over there, and you'll be able to join us when we do. Like I said, hopefully trying to do Tuesday. I don't know if I'm gonna have to do like a work dinner type of thing or whatever. But if not, then we'll definitely be doing it same time on Tuesday, and that will be the last Tuesday. So we move over to Thursday. So I'm excited for that. But that's it, guys. I got to go to this midnight release party for Metal. And I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands. But have a good night, guys. See you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Have a good one.